Hi everybody, this is Shinichiro Ishikawa from GONZO. Nice to meet you. Even not too early, but from the morning, and then I hope you enjoyed our communication. I want to be as interactive as possible because probably you know GONZO, so you don't need to hear too much about it. GONZO became 30 years this year. But actually, 30 years not as a corporation. GONZO started when 5 creators left Gainax, who made Evangelion, and started a kind of activities under the name of GONZO. That I was not there at that time, and those 5 includes Shinji Higuchi, who made a lot of movies these days. He went to live action at the end. And then Mahiro Maeda, who made a Submarine No. 6 and Monte Cristo with us. And then other 3 people. And then around 2 years, that first phase of 10 years was that we, in the 1990s, we are doing more of a kind of a design works. So you don't see GONZO's name anywhere in 1990s. And in 1999, actually, our first title, Blue Submarine No. 6 came out. And because GONZO focused 3 things. One is, of course, great design, great creators. Second was the digital technology. Actually, maybe a lot of people are too young to know that until 1995, almost 95% of Japanese anime was done by cell, hand-drawn. And they even use camera to, real camera to shoot, final composition. It's not even a composition, it was camera work. So that was 1995, and since then, I joined this animation industry in 1996. I introduced all those technologies from England and America and Japan. Mainly 3 platforms existed at that time. And then I made all that, especially composition and ink and paint process of animation digitized. So this digitization of animation, including combination with the 3D computer graphics, was what GONZO's second aim to make a revolution in animation industry. And the third is actually, I think is most important revolution we made, is most of, or I can say, all more recent cool animation companies like Gainax or Production IG, they don't own any rights. They are subcontracted ordered by a big corporation. And still, those new companies, which was made, not new, but made after 1990s or 1980s, doesn't own any rights, or only a small portion of it. So it's controlled by somebody else. So they are kind of, their brand is there, but they cannot control the rights. But GONZO, on the other hand, even from the beginning, we wanted to have it, especially outside. Japan is very big market, and in order to distribute, we needed to give some rights to the others. So not necessarily Japan we own the rights, but most of our titles we own the rights for the international market outside of Japan, and we ourselves distributed the content since 2000. So those 3 things, what GONZO, together with me, wanted to do last 20 years. First 10 years was more design. Next 10 years is actually making a lot of titles, internationalize it and distribute it, make a GONZO as a kind of a platform to expand this digitized new animation era into the world, to emit those content and then make the world fun to come to us. So I think we did an okay job, that's why you are here. And I'm invited here, and today I can have this presentation. So I'm gonna explain a little bit of GONZO. We don't have many English materials, but this is a bit old, but I'm gonna explain. GONZO is basically our mission is that provide leading edge content and realize global value creation. So that is our mission, as I told you. Great creators, digitize leading edge technology, and globally distribute ourselves. That was what we wanted to do. Second, we wanted to do as high quality as possible. Of course, budget constraint is there, but our high quality is not as a craftsmanship high quality. We wanted to do always innovative, trying new things. A lot of other animation people, blamed us. We do something stupid, like when we did Count of Monte Cristo. We tried to paint it with not one color, but with a pattern. And then a lot of people hate it. It's not animation, and then it's not even 3D computer graphics. Why you have a pattern on that? It's that, pattern, and that was a lot of people liked it. And then especially Anna Sui, famous designer, loved it, and then she gave us several designs of the clothing. So it was a very honorable moment. So that's what we did. And also we did a lot of works with an international leader of at that time. For example, we did a music clip. We never do a subcontract work except one music clip called Breaking the Habit by Linkin Park. And we won an MTV award, selected by you guys. And we won against Britney Spears at that time. And then our anime was more popular than Britney Spears at the peak time. So it was also very well. So I already explained, international, not only America, but we expand into Asian countries, Malaysia or Saudi Arabia, or of course Europe, and China and Taiwan. And then we got a lot of awards, which I talked about. Afro Samurai got an Emmy Awards as well, international awards. We didn't go and try to get it, but they gave us some awards, so it was a very, very happy moment. And then, most importantly, we have at the moment we have 80 titles, 80 TV series, movies distributed by ourselves internationally. So that makes our GONZO brand strong. And then our biggest partner in America is X Funimation, now Crunchyroll. And then Crunchyroll also was my friend when they started, because I went to Crunchyroll and then told Kun, who was the CEO of the company, founder of the company, told him make it legalize it. Then we will give you our content. And then we made him distribute those. So I'm happy that those activities led to current GONZO's acknowledgement in the market, because I thought Crunchyroll will be one of the major platforms, even at the beginning, when they were really illegal. And then a studio. Actually, I have to say, we had a studio. A lot of people outside of Japan probably doesn't know, but GONZO had a hard time after we made IPO in year 2004, and then we asked for help from private equity, which is investors, and then together with them we built a company together with the studio, and then private equity sold their shares to Japanese third largest ad agency, ADK, who owns Doraemon and other titles. And then we were under them since 2016, but then we got out of, I bought back. Now I own 100% of GONZO. I bought back the company in 2000. At that time, condition was that leave the studio there, and I don't start, GONZO itself won't do any production of a new title ourselves, because they didn't want to have a competition for 3 years. And the reason why I'm presenting today is that that contract expires August 2023, which is now. So now, September, so now I can publicly announce we can restart the production. Of course, it takes time to produce anything. It's a 2 years process. So next title will come out 1 or 2 years time. I'm sorry for that, but then please expect something great. We are already in production of two titles. So please expect. We can't announce yet. I tried to push, but it's not signed yet, so I can't say anything today. But I will tell you, I will inform you guys as soon as when I can do it. Okay? So these are our titles: Afro Samurai, We Got a Logo, Awards, Linkin Park, Rain Habit, and then Last Exile is our kind of signature title, and then one of the first titles which we made as a computer graphics, combined 3D computer graphics combined with 2D animation, all digitized and distributed as a TV series, 2 seasons. That is the first. This is probably the first one in the world which did it. And then we made a second season in 2011. Count of Monte Cristo, I already talked about it. Anna Sui loved it, so she designed some of the characters' clothing. And Witchblade, author of Witchblade Top Cup, loved us, so he pitched us, oh, can you make a Japanese version of Witchblade? So we made it together. And then they of course own some parts, but then animation we distribute ourselves. And then we do together Bayonetta, which is also a famous game, probably you know. And these are the one recent one. We are quite good with the game content. 18 is based on a mobile game. Bayonetta is a console game, but we do a mobile game once. Akiba Street is also a mobile, I think a mobile and browser game in Japan and popular. And then most popular one still now is Kakurio. I still talk with ex-Funimation people, and they say one of the best, actually the best, their best, viewed content on their platform for girls' content is a Kakurio still now. So of course, I hope we can do that. It's not finished, so please support us to make it happen to continue. I hope I can announce to you sometime. And then we did a lot of content after that. So, but unfortunately, this year 2020 was the last year we created a TV series. And after that, only one project we did is a Samurai Cryptos, which is not a TV series, so it's not against the contract agreement. So I'm not sure that it was based on NFT concept. Basically, it's starting from 7 designers, our GONZO's designers. So it's not animation. Designers do characters, 7 in NFT inspired characters, and then I promised to them we're gonna make animation based on them from year 2030. So we released an NFT 2021-22. So I'm gonna show you the trailer. I don't think voice comes out, but you can see. Yeah, those are the 7 designs. Seven designers. Sound is only from here. Okay, so this is our next one. And then actually, we already started producing an animation based on 2 characters, and 2 designers agreed to do shorts on these, and we're gonna release probably end of this year or early next year. That's what we can tell you, so please expect something great is coming out. But they are very excited. So, and this is a current status of GONZO, and I'm sure you are familiar with some of our titles, so I'd like to open up this session to whatever you want to ask me. If I can answer, of course there are some confidential things, but if I can answer, I try to answer to it. And also I have a prize for you. If you ask questions, I'm gonna give you one of these posters. I mean, printed, high quality print, together with my autograph to you when you ask a question. So please go ahead. Okay. So be nice to him. He's gonna choose.
So, there was one that I liked. Well, it was like the manga. I guess I just wanted to know, because the anime and manga were a little bit different. How was it when you worked on Rosario Vampire? Like, how did the author influence in that? And like, did you do like any like major changes to the manga, or you know? I guess it's like kind of the production of the Rosario Vampire anime.
Yeah, actually, Rosario and Vampire is this one? Oh, I have to push. Yeah, actually, Rosario and Vampire is when we make an animation. Your question is that
I just want to know like the
manga and then animation is a bit different, right?
Yeah, it's like a little bit different than the manga. But was there like
yeah,
I guess kind of like
yeah, a lot of times Gonzo is famous and infamous for our own creativity. And then actually, yeah, when we do any animation based on existing manga authors in general ask us to do your own inspiration by the director and then the creators. Sometimes it works very well. Sometimes manga author doesn't like it. But then Rosario and Vampire are probably a lot of parts. That's why there are 2 seasons of Rosario and Vampire. A lot of parts author liked it, but then some parts he didn't like it. So and then audience as well. And then still, but it became a very popular series, and still we get a lot of requests to make a next season. And because of the situation Gonzo had, as I explained, we couldn't answer to that question. But then I know we constantly receive emails from fans to make next season, so I will push to make it happen, but I can't promise you.
If you do, I'll watch it.
Thank you. Should I have Rosario and Vampire? I don't think so. So I don't have Rosario and Vampire poster, so and I'm gonna sign on Samurai Cryptus and give it to you. So next one.
Is there a particular work that you're most proud of that you want to use?
Sorry?
A work that you're most proud of that a part
That's my question.
My personal view, of course, I can't. That caused a problem with the company and the people. So, and I'm not sure if I can tell you, but I can say at the moment, most exciting content is Samurai Cryptos, because 7 main Gonzos, creator who loves, even in a difficult time, they love us. That's why they, kind of immediately, talk, because NFT was a kind of controversial platform, right? So, but they love Gonzo, so when I asked them, they said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do it," and they did it immediately. So, this is a very exciting, restart of Gonzo. So I have to say, at the moment, Samurai Cryptos is my favorite content, right?
The person who asked that question, come up so that way you can get your present.
All right.
So first comment, Panic and Megathread, my favorite titles of the console. But I will just say this: you revolutionized CG interaction with animation, and there's no doubt that there's not a controversy with CG in anime today. Are you looking to, again, revolutionize the CG integration into anime and better it than you did? Because I will say, your original iterations in Blue Sub 6 and other titles were, at the time, a very good, flawless iteration of CG, but we haven't seen anything really do that without taking you out of the immersion. Do you have anything that you're working on to improve that CG immersion?
Yeah, actually, that is a good. Is it on? Yeah, you can hear, right? Yeah, actually, that's a very good question. CG became kind of commodity now. So we are not focused on CG anymore. And the fan, especially we found out, fan, these days more, because there are great CG on Hollywood movies, and they spend a fortune, and we can never compete against it. So what we wanted to do is a different style of anime, more anime way of creating, and we are more focusing on making the animation production itself as a digitized process. At the moment, animation is made more kind of a organic way that everybody's in studio working 24 hours still, and then try to make it. And then, but if we can make everything kind of remote, then we can hire the best designers, animators all the time. If in one studio, of course, we have to hire, make it a kind of pyramid structure, and then, there are 3 or 4 great animators, but then 70 animators are not next level animators, and then probably 200 animators are even, we don't, we ourselves don't know the name because there's not enough time, so we have to ask subcontracting. So that is what we are trying to do with Samurai Cryptos, and then I hope you can see something great as animation, like Afro Samurai. I like a lot because that is one team, which is great team, came in and then did animation, and then but then we don't make a next season because it's impossible now to gather that many great animators. Any studio, no studio can do it, especially that type of action. That's why I want to make a next level by making the process that great anime like Afro Samurai comes again.
Appreciate you not finding the two and focusing on the animation. That's really clear.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So maybe first. The next one.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Can you talk about some of the challenges of transitioning from cell animation to 3D animation? Since you had mentioned a lot of the animation in the early 90s was mostly cell.
I didn't hear well. Can
you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you talk about a little bit about the challenges of transitioning from cell animation to 3D animation? You had mentioned that Blue Sub 6 was one of them. I think it was the first one to use 3D animation.
Yeah.
What was it like transitioning to use something like that, whereas everything had previously been cell animation?
Actually, maybe my voice is strong enough. I don't need a mic. Actually, the biggest challenge is how to combine computer graphics with animation. It's because hand-drawn animation is based on layout. Computer graphics becomes better from a storyboard for operators to make the movement, not according to the layout, but then make it cool. But then if you move the 3D computer graphics different from originally designed, those hand-drawn animation won't fit to the 3D computer graphics. But then, because those storyboarders are more animators, they don't know how to move computer graphics is the best way to make it look cool. So that was that. Blue Samurai number 6 took so long time to release 4 episodes. Actually, it was delayed by 2 years from the initial release, the last episode, was because of that. And then we lost a lot of money because of that. As you can imagine, I almost wanted to cry. So next one. Okay.
So I hope it's not too sensitive topic, but my favorite GONZO animation is Kazuma Stigma.
Which one?
Yeah, so my favorite GONZO animation was Kazuma Stigma.
Oh, Stigma. Yeah.
And I believe unfortunately the author passed away. And then does the passing of the creator have any effect on whether like there will be continued like production or like any other complications, or does it still go smoothly?
Yeah, actually, that happened quite a few titles. Most difficult one was actually not that one, but then Trinity Blood, because when production started, even first episode was not done, and then actually author passed away because he had some blood problem, and then it was a sad story. He forgot to take the medicine because he was so excited the animation is done. So that was a kind of a sad for us. But then he was not there, so how we should we continue? But the family actually really supported us because family really wanted his dream that his manga will become a animation. But creative wise, we had to kind of imagine what he's gonna say.
Okay, so you guys just taking the creative aspect with your own hands.
Yes, and then we had enough, good enough communication, so we could make it happen. Okay, next.
Hi, and thank you for coming. I love your work, especially my favorites you made on My Bride and Mermaid, Inception, and Missouri Vampire. I actually have two questions, actually. First one is, what was the feeling you had when you started working on the shows, like, when you heard the ideas and, the artwork and all that, to have to when it was finished?
Can you repeat again? I'm thinking, so.
My question was, what was the feeling you had when you started working on the show like My Bride is a Mermaid, Rosario Vampire, to when you saw the artwork, heard the ideas, and you saw everything about it to when it was finished?
Creative process. Actually, title by title, it's completely different. And then Rosario and Vampire, actually, I was not that much involved, so I cannot give you any answer, even though you love it. I'm sorry for that. But then there are several factors. One is if there's an original manga existent or not. Of course, if there's an original manga, reading that, and then it has a already character there. So that is a kind of a original blueprint, and we start developing from there. Where light novel, it's only a novel. And a novel and a movie is completely different. So the process of making light novel into animation, from the first point, character, should we use similar character as those illustration on the light novel, or we should alter it? We have to discuss with the author as well. So it's another different processes there. And the original is even more different because sometimes it's from story, and then it's sometimes from the character. Like at Samurai Cryptos, we don't have a story at the beginning. From a character we start. Sometimes Last Exile actually started from one page memo by Shoji Murahama, our co-founder of GONZO. He had only 10 lines, and then that was the start point. So any process is possible in one word. Okay. So next one, just.
Hello, and thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate it. My question is, the anime industry has certainly evolved a lot since the 90s, going from what we would call a niche to breaking into the mainstream internationally, going from television into games, collaborations, mobile, crypto even, whatever it can be some of the topic, but certainly it has become a much more diverse and harder industry to navigate. So my question is, whatever is on the topic, where do you think the industry is heading, given that it's breaking into?
It's very hard to hear your voice. Can you take
I'm sorry.
your
Can you hear
mask?
me now?
Yeah, probably without mask I can, because I'm not native speaker. It's very
Is that
difficult.
better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shorten it up. With the anime industry breaking into so many things since the 90s, right? Going from niche to international, breaking into the mainstream, games, collaborations, mobile, right? Where do you think that the anime industry is going from now on, given that it's become significantly more complicated to navigate?
Actually, to make it mainstream, it happens by the people, not intentional. And then, for example, Afro Samurai, some jacks, it's a kind of mainstream, I have to say, and it became mainstream because Samuel L. Jackson watched our trailer, and he loved it, and then he invited me to Toronto. He's a great actor. He didn't come to me. I had to go to him. He proposed to me that on the set he was shooting one movie, and then he even offered me a director's chair. Director must be pissed off with the situation, but and then he reached me. I have to be Afro Samurai, and then do it together. And of course, I said, of course, yes. And I love you too. So, so that type of people, the passion comes together, then it becomes mainstream. It's not like building up a story to make it mainstream, and Linkin Park as well. It was started from Barnes and Noble's the bookstore in Los Angeles, where our staff met Joe Han, the keyboarder, who was reading one of the manga of a GONZO title. And then my staff asked him, "Do you like GONZO?" And then he said, "Yeah." "Oh, you are from GONZO. Why don't you make our next music clip?" Because I was thinking to speak to some of the animation company, and then if GONZO's here, I'd love to do it. So that is how it happened. So that type of thing is the start point of mainstream, I think. Okay, next question.
And then you come up.
Okay. Okay.
Just want to say, thank you for all your hard work. I love a lot of the shows that GONZO made. My favorite is I love that one.
Okay, can you speak?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, I just want to thank you. Love GONZO, titles, favorite pumpkin scissors, one of my favorites. I had a question because I read a bit about you. It was physics in college and then to an MBA. What made you want to break into the animation industry from that perspective?
First one is I loved animation when I was a kid, of course. And then the second is I wanted to make Japanese anime into a global content. And then I thought that I am the only, I was arrogant enough to think I would be the only one who can do it. Other people, because Japanese people in general are very close-minded, and that they don't want to go out. But then I immediately went out and then tried to pitch around the worldwide. And then once the crack is open, then Japanese people want to follow. Once there's a road, Japanese people are good at following that road. So I think I succeeded that, including speaking to Crunchyroll to become a legal. And then after GONZO invested in Crunchyroll, Shueisha, and then TV Tokyo invested in Crunchyroll, and then they became major. So I think I think that I achieved what I wanted to do. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi. It's very rare to see like anime shows that are directly based on adaptations of old classic works. So I'm very, very surprised to see GONZO, based on Monte Cristo, which is something I read in high school, but now in space. Method. And great pattern. I don't care what anyone says. My question is, what made you decide to do something like this, like existing work in that particular story?
Yeah.
Do you have any interest to do it in the future?
It is very easy. The reason is because Shakespeare said there are only 12 stories, which I did. So I thought that with our creators, then we have to do Shakespeare to prove that we are good animation maker, producer, that we can make one of the original stories of the world. Every story is based on those 12 stories. Then we should do it, all the 12 stories. We have done it, so we want to do another 11. That's the kind of answer. Right. Okay.
My question is, when you first started GONZO in the early days, what were some difficulties and challenges you faced during that time? And as you are now, would you make any changes from back then to help improve, or maybe had like different viewpoints nowadays back then?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
When you were when you first started in GONZO, what were some the most hardest challenges you faced while leading the company? While then, as you are now, would you go back and make any changes to help improve, or do anything different for today?
Are you talking if I go back that time, do I do different?
Yes.
I don't think so. The reason is because that was the only way to own the rights. Because the important thing was make enough library, which is big enough to make get with our own ourselves to distribute it. Then if I have a big enough library which we control, then we can get more attention from the market, and we can have more power to influence the market. So that was the only way to do it. Of course, that was too much financially, so we suffered a lot. But then, in a sense, now I'm standing here, so I made a lot of bad times, but then I'm still standing, so it must be a good success. Otherwise I would be dead, right? All right, thank you.
We've got about 12 more minutes, so quick questions.
So 3 more.
My first animation into GONZO, the first that I watched was Last Exile. I loved that very much. My question was there any concepts that you weren't able to implement the first time that you wish you had back in later if you wanted to create a third show after Family Soloing?
Which title?
Last Exile.
Last Exile.
Ask again?
Last Exile. Last Exile is a kind of a interesting title that only 10 line of word started by Shoji Murahan. So I would say Last Exile is a real GONZO that Shoji was the guy who invited 5 creators to make a group to start this creative team initially, right? So that's why I think Last Exile is I have to say most important title for Gonzo that had all the spirit of how Gonzo makes the content is in there. But actually, no other titles are made like that after that. So it is, as I said, somebody's question. All the title is always different, created different way. But the Last Exile, again, that was a miracle that we made it. And then thank you for loving it. And because it is the flagship title, I have to say, all the time, even in the future, bigger than for Gonzo as how to say, if Gonzo has a spirit, I think Last Exile is the one. Afro Samurai might be more famous, but then Last Exile is the spirit of
Hello. So you linked to the animation industry before, like fan, right? Was there any IP that you adapted that you were a fan of?
IP that?
Yeah. Anything that you adapted that you were a fan of? Like,
I didn't.
We can't hear you.
oh, okay. So was there any IP that you were a fan of when you adapted that into anime?
Yeah, we didn't understand the question. Can you please, so what is the IP?
Yeah, the story.
The story?
The animated story that you adapted to an anime.
He's saying if there was an anime IP out there that you abandoned, that you abandoned it.
Oh, abandoned. Oh, I see. We don't voluntarily abandon content, but then we created so many stories, and I have to say 70% of it didn't become animation completed. The reason is because sometimes there's not enough financing. Creators run away sometimes, or some trouble. But mainly commercially, we couldn't attract enough attention. That's why we couldn't make it. That is probably 70% of it, and then 10 to 20% creators decide I can't work on it anymore because I'm stuck. The original creator, and we value those creators. So if they are stuck and they can go to the next step to make it in a series, then we have to abandon it. So those are the two cases, I think, mainly. So last one, we wanna. 8 minutes. So 2 or 3 we can do.
In the early days of Studio GONZO, what were some of the challenges? What were some of the challenges in the early days of Studio GONZO in trying to bring the company to the limelight, to the forefront of animation?
So what were the challenges to get GONZO to the forefront?
To the limelight.
Challenges. Okay. Challenge was actually traditional industry people, because they don't want. It was clear that most of the rights owners, they don't want animation production to have power, because those guys want to control their own content. And they don't want animation production. For example, Toei Animation is a production company which started right after World War II. That's why they own a lot of rights, and they have now they are huge company and they got a lot of power. They didn't want any other animation company to become like that, because then those are rights holders, I don't say who, or TV stations, I don't say who. they don't actually, they are kind of competitors, and then if there are more Toei Animation appears in Japan, then they have less power. So that was the pressure I was, and then that system was changed around 1975 or 1980, before that, animation production company could own the content. It was only TV station paying money, but content belonged to them. Not to the TV station, but studio. But after 1975, everybody, TV station or those financiers started to know I should own the rights. Then I can make more money in the future because it's so valuable. It's not like a drama or news, which is distributed on one and it's valuable only for 5 years. Animation is valuable for more than 100 years. So that changed. So I was trying to get that power back to newer production company. And so that was the biggest challenge. So next. Go ahead.
Do you have a favorite series you worked on, or something you're most proud of that you've produced?
Animation? Proud of. Oh, I can give you one thing completely different. Is that I'm gonna give you a signature of Kaleido Star. This is actually what I personally I was involved, and then actually. Junichi Sato, who made first series of Sailor Moon. He's one of the biggest director, and then he asked me, give me a physical how do you call physical the one of the episode 26, the main character do this special acrobat. And then he wanted to have a physical explanation of that. And because I was an astrophysicist before, he asked me to do that. And then I'm credited, if you watch that episode, at the end, my name is in between the screenwriter and the director. My sole credit is physics, I forgot that in English, physics something. It's my name. Not as a producer. I was a producer. My name is at the producer side as well. But I don't care about it. That was my only creative credit I had. So and then it was single credit. So that's why I'm proud of that show. From my only creative.
She talks about Kaleido Star.
Okay, last question.
What were some works that did not do well domestically, but had a surprise international critical
Okay, that is a very good last question. This one, Kakurio.
Yes.
Kakurio is still doing really, because of X-Funimation guys, still they are kind of in the process of merging, so I have to say still Funimation guys, tell us, this is still, after 4 years, still doing really well, like S or A class of, how to say, viewership. So everybody is so surprised. In Japan, it's good, but not that good. Because Funimation guys are always talking about this type. So this is the biggest surprise.
It's actually funny. People have been coming over to the GONZO table and they see that image and then they start screaming.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, this is the end. Thank you for a lot of questions. And if I can tell you, but we're gonna have probably within this year some big announcement of our next title. So please look forward to it. And I hope you're gonna like it. Okay, thank you very much.
If you guys ever want to go onto the website for news as they come up, it's www.gonzo.co.jp. So co.jp.com. And we'll be at the autographing tables later on today. We'll probably get some lunch real quick, and then we'll be over at our autographing table. So please come by, lots of artwork.
Thank you.